House Speaker Mike Johnson has a little bit of a rebellion on his hands from farm country Republicans after the GOP failed to secure additional economic aid for farmers in their upcoming stopgap spending bill. Now, he's going to have to get some Republicans on board if he wants to have any hope of actually passing this, either in the final bill or as a separate bill, and we'll get to that. But I want to remind you primarily, why is this a fight that's going on right now? Why do farmers need all of this additional economic aid in 2024? Well, you might, if you've been paying attention to American politics, already suspect why, and you're on to something. It's the continued getting on towards a decade-long fallout of Donald Trump's tariff war that he initiated under his first term. And it does a lot of damage. And I'm glad that the reporting is at least semi accurate about that. But the House Agriculture Chair, G.T. Thompson, who sounds like if you asked ChatGPT to generate the name of the House Agriculture Chair, anyway, said this weekend that he will oppose any spending measure that leaves out the billions in extra aid farm state Republicans are seeking following that 2018 trade war. Representative John Duarte said the farm aid, quote, needs to be part of any end of year actions. U.S. farmers across our nation are simply at the end of their debt and equity resources. And if you were not paying attention back in 2018, China targeted the US farm community with retaliatory tariffs on imports of American agricultural goods after Trump imposed tariffs on a wide range of goods from China. US soy exports to China have never recovered. In fact, China has slashed its dependence on US farm goods since the 2018 trade war. And it's believed that another trade war could cost just soy farmers $3.6 to $5.9 billion every year. This was all obvious before it happened. Now it's a cautionary tale after it happened. We are going to ream our own ability to buy goods because of the tariffs we put on these other countries. They will obviously do retaliatory tariffs, which means we won't be able to sell nearly as much abroad. That is going to wreck industries such that almost a decade later, we still have to shell out billions of dollars a year to just one industry. And now he wants to go bigger and he wants to go broader and he is willing to destroy. Well, you think these are big lib farmers? You think these are progressives and hippies in all cases? That's not the case. He's willing to screw over millions of conservatives and wreck our economy to get the tariffs that he wants so badly. Francesca, what do you make of this?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of thoughts I have. I mean, I number one, it makes me think about Democrats and their inability to organize in rural areas and their inability to organize farmers and the fact that they've largely left that voting bloc alone and surrendered it to Trump, even when Trump is actively making moves that hurt them, right? And the consolidation, this will only lead to more consolidation of the agricultural sector. Not that it's not already massively consolidated, but family farms have been going the way of the dodo. People are in debt. It's impossible to keep it around. So you sell to bigger and bigger conglomerates until there's just one. And that person then does what? There's soy is too expensive to even make here. Let's just import from another country, even though soy actually is something that the United States farmers do pretty well, and a lot of it is organic and there's good stuff, right? It's not that bad. But again, because of the way that big business policies and tariffs will it'll hurt the little guy. And so it makes me frustrated that Democrats haven't successfully organized in rural areas, organized with farmers. And it's a huge gap that I think they could actually close in the future. But yeah, man, this is what's going to continue to happen until there's only two players in the entire game. And that, I mean, speaking of oligarchy, that's what straight up feudalism is. That's when only a few people own all the land.
Yeah.
Right. And there's more and more farmland consolidation as actually tech is getting more and more into and billionaires getting more and more to buying land. That's what you have. Yeah. That's what you get. And what happens to our food prices?
Oh, all of this in both sides is going to end up costing us tons of money. And you should be very worried about this. I remember and we'll end on this, right before Trump came into office the first time, everyone was worried, what if he goes through in his threats to default on the debt? That's going to cause economic devastation. And a lot of economists were like, well, obviously the Republicans aren't going to let him do that. He's not going to actually do that. And thankfully, we didn't go into the darkest form of that. We just continue to pay for it every 3 months or whatever, which is its own issue. In this case, CEOs apparently, there's great reporting, Wall Street Journal, are really trying to get through to him, you cannot do these tariffs. This is graphic 5. He's not budging. He's going to do this. He is being told by all these people, Republican, massive businessmen and billionaires, the damage is going to do. He's going to do it anyway. You should be very concerned.